That is of note.
I plead the fifth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this cruiserweight bare knuckle bout is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds and is brought to you live on the Stadium app. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 198 pounds. He holds a bare knuckle record of 2 wins, 1 loss, and he fights out of Portage, Indiana, by way of Lake Charles, Louisiana, USA, Brandon Boss Hog Johnson. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 192 pounds. He holds a bare knuckle record of 3 wins, 2 losses, and he fights out of Parker, Colorado, Leo Iron Lion Pla. Our referee, when the bell rings, Bobby Wambacher.
Here we go. Leo Pla in the red trunks, Brandon Johnson in the black, gold, and purple trunks.
Nice hook there by Pla to start things out.
Leo, a certified personal trainer who has a ton of respect for his opponent that he is facing here tonight. There were some opponent changes because these men both are living in the U.S. They fight in BYB in the U.S. But they said, what the heck, we'll go across the pond and we'll fight here in the U.K. and entertain the fans.
Brandon landed twice, just missed by a hair the right hand in sort of those exchanges.
And he's got a mouse already underneath his left eye. Good right hand there by Johnson nonetheless.
And remember in the Sam Liera fight, Paulie, it was a huge mouse under his left eye, pretty much swollen shut when Leo fought Sam Liera.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but now it's Johnson on
now it's Johnson with it.
The mouse.
He takes and he gives back.
Johnson with the uppercut. I think he made contact with the forehead there. We had the overhead shot, which is a wildly cool shot, by the way. And they give it to us again.
Yeah, and Leo slipped a little bit on the into the trigon, but he was good, which we're thankful for, because he kind of slipped under the ropes, all good to go, and the battle continues.
Oh, nice jab there by Pla.
Yeah.
Should make more use of that, actually, because if he doesn't, Johnson will work his way in with that hand speed and use it.
There's that right. That's the weapon. Johnson, all the other tools feel like Johnson's using them just to set up that right.
Brandon Johnson, in a very long combat career, has been stopped twice, just twice, and both were short notice fights.
Pla snuck the left hand in as Brandon came in that time.
Yep. He's finally able to stop that head movement, and he's using that good uppercut now, Johnson.
Leo came back and connected with a hook of his own, though.
When Johnson was sort of in the fire, in the chaos, he took his hand and tracked the head and then found the knuckles to it.
Pla should be more busy with that jab. It's been effective when he's used it. He just doesn't use it enough.
His greatest influences being a native of Veracruz, Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Hulk Hogan.
Makes sense. Yeah,
makes sense to me.
It does.
El Gran Campeón Mexicano and Lucha Libre.
There you go. Exactly. Thunderlips, the ultimate male. Round one, this one's scheduled for 5. Our 2 title fights still to come. Here from the Indigo at the O2 in London, England.
Nice feints there by Johnson.
BYB Extreme. Bare Knuckle Boxing is proud to announce the Tampa, Florida Flyweight Giveaway Contest. Come join us in person for an all-expense-paid trip to Tampa, Florida for our next BYB Extreme fight on November 19th. Brought to you by Pick Cherries. Share podcasts like never before. Visit pickcherries.com/BYB Extreme to download the free Pick Cherries mobile app. To enter, to win, no purchase necessary. Brought to you by Picked Cherries. Share podcasts like never before.
Leo Iron Lion Pla said quite simply, I just want to retire on my terms, and I hope I make a dent in the sport.
Yeah, you see Johnson trying to get a hold of Pla's head. Pla with a good head movement underneath as he gets stuck. And Johnson trying to get a hold of his head. And he finally was able to land that uppercut, slow down the head movement just enough.
Yeah, and if he can't get a hold of it, he'll just sort of try to track it with the other hand, but it leaves that hand extended.
And it's smart because Pla can come up with a hook, which I think he ended up landing once. You know, at least when you put your hand over his head, you prevent him from coming up like that.
You know, in that last round, I spent a few minutes just watching these guys move their feet. They're so experienced. They both float really nicely, and nobody's really been cornered that much. They're just, you can see the experience. It's instinctive where they're moving.
Yeah, both veterans. And again, I like to see that jab more of Pla, but when he uses it, it's very effective. See Johnson trying to feint his way in now a lot more.
And that might be a correction from his corner between rounds.
Nice little hook there by Pla.
Yeah, that was a knuckle. Pla's saying that was a knuckle, not a finger.
Yeah, Johnson saying finger, but you know what? Pla said knuckle, and it looked knuckle to me. It looked like a nice little hook off the fake of the jab, and that's what an effective jab will do. You get Johnson looking jab, and then you turn it into a hook, as Pla was able to be effective with that.
Second degree black belt in Goju Karate and a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Leo Pla.
Ooh,
His opponent grew up fighting. And then he said, Robin, you know, I might as well get paid for it. So he became a prize fighter.
Yeah, it's true. You know, in this environment, you will be rewarded for fighting. You will not be penalized for it.
Correct.
You're here to entertain as professional fighters, so you get paid. You do it out in the world, and you get penalized. And that's probably a good thing from a civilization standpoint.
Good point, Robin.
And sometimes when you tell the judge that you're going to box, the penalty became much less.
Yep, we saw that tonight.
Yep.
Tell you, that ring apron on the outside, we could probably extend it a little bit, because guys, if they step a little bit on the outside, they end up falling right down. Pla's done it twice now.
Still to come are two title fights, Miranda Barber and Josette Cotton for the BYB Women's Super Welterweight Championship and Police Gazette Diamond Belt. Then our main event, Carlos Guerra and Seth Schaefer for the BYB Welterweight Championship and that beautiful diamond belt from the Police Gazette and Scott Burke.
It's been crazy fights already. We're not even near the top yet.
Yeah, I know.
Pla's a really interesting one because he looks different throughout the fight. Like, he's never throwing the same combinations. He's not throwing it with the same rhythm, you know?
Yeah, he's very, very relaxed, too. You can tell this guy just fights all the time, you know? Scheduled fights, not street fights.
Sanctioned violence.
Sanctioned.
One of Leo's trademarks is the liver punch, so keep an eye out. See if he's able to find that body.
Yeah, I've seen him throw it once or twice in this fight.
Yeah.
But I think his best weapon has been the jab. I mean, and Johnson is wearing it all over his face. So if Pla's more busy with it, I think he'd have more advantage.
Leo Pla, loving being here tonight. Said he's been working on his head movement, his footwork, and like Paulie said, his jab, which is pretty darn effective thus far. Boss Hog changing levels.
And the only criticism I have for Pla with the jab is I'd like to see it more. You know, anytime he's used it, he's really, look at that, using an up jab as well, like changing the angle. Even on the inside, when Johnson has tried to use that speed, Pla's head movement has been rather effective. Hasn't been hit with too many clean shots.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool fight, the dynamic between these two guys, because they're so seasoned. You know, they're so seasoned. And Pla is a very unique fighter, the way he fights. His rhythm is really different. His timing is different.
This one's scheduled for 5. And the battle continues. Round 3, Leo Pla, red trunks, black, gold, and purple for Brandon Johnson. Mike Goldberg, the Magic Man, the 2-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi, Robin Black, Claudia Trejos. Been a great night listening to Tom and Claudia have spirited conversations.
Yeah, that was a team I didn't know I needed, but I do need now.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, they are. Tom Ross, the legend, of course.
Again, Pla with that rhythm, trying to throw off and deceive Johnson, who now isn't as apt to try to work his way in and throw those combinations. He's trying to figure out the openings from the outside. But again, Pla doing a good job of switching from jabs to hooks and changing range, mixing some feints in there, lead right hand there. Good variation by Leo Pla.
Yeah, I like it. And the left hand's super low. Like sometimes when people watch, they're like, oh, you got to keep your hands up. You absolutely do not have to keep your hands up. You can have your hand down and attack from, you know, beneath the peripheral, from underneath where the vision can see it. There's all kinds of advantages sometimes to putting your hands somewhere else. It's fundamentals. Novices got to keep their hands up. These guys do not.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You learn the proper fundamentals, but then after you kind of personalize your style, and Pla certainly has a very personalized style.
And he got hit with the right hand, so there's a risk. There's a trade-off, right? There's advantages and disadvantages to every single choice you make in combat.
Yeah, but he rode with it too. So
yes.
All 5 of Leo Pla's bare knuckle bouts have ended in knockout, win or lose. This one's still going against Brandon Johnson.
But he's got Johnson leaking a lot, and that blood is getting all over Pla's hair as well. He's wearing it.
That first shower you have after a fight is a lot redder than you were expecting.
That blood is leaking. Yeah. I don't know if Johnson's nose is broken or what, but that blood is leaking like crazy.
Not new to Johnson, that's for sure. Yeah, but Pla's just been chill and just varying his attack and slowly taking him apart.
Yeah, guys, I think Johnson's nose is broken.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not a medic myself, but it looks a little bit crooked.
Yeah.
And it's bleeding
Swelling.
a lot of blood.
Swelling in around the eyes.
Yeah.
30 seconds on the clock here in round number 3.
Paulie, I love the way that if the judges don't get it right, you'll just lambaste them. But this is one of those ones that, although it feels like Pla is winning this fight,
no,
a judge could see this because they see the other guy moving forward. That's one that mystifies people sometimes.
No. I mean,
you hope not.
No, this one, the blood and the action is both in Pla's favor. So
yeah,
I think you'd have to.
But
it would be completely backwards to give Johnson.
You'd go crazy.
Yeah. You didn't even watch the fight then at that point, you know?
Paulie and Adelaide Bird don't spend any holidays together.
Nor Tom Shrek.
Exactly.
This is an interesting one. This is the kind of fight that fighters like watching. You know, the other guys, they see the guys that have been around for a long time. They're a little different. They're kind of unique.
Yeah.
See, now he's clearing his nose, guys. And you see it in the top screen. That's generally a no-no.
Well, the swelling around the eyes sometimes happens when you try to clear that nose. You see that.
But you look at his nose; it looks like it's off to the right, to the right or to his left.
Yeah, it is a different shape than it started.
See some of that action from that round too. You see how Pla makes you miss and then also smothers you. So he's taking away Johnson's ability to throw in combination by doing those two things. And then from the outside, he's picking them off with little pot shots and jabs and just fighting like a real vet.
Yeah, he really is. It's a really, really interesting fight to watch him operate. It's very cool.
I can see Pla in his corner telling his own team that they should really stop the Johnson fight. The Johnson corner should stop it. That's what Pla is telling his own corner. Look at Pla. Pla's more attentive to Johnson's corner than he is to himself. Look.
I don't want to hurt him anymore.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Really, two vets.
And this is a guy in Leo whose left eye was swollen shut and didn't want them to stop the fight against Sam Liera in May of 21 in BYB 5.
He's saying, I don't want to hurt him anymore.
Yeah.
But
they're going to let it continue.
But the other man, courageously, this is what he does, this is what he loves. He wants to fight.
Yeah, there was no doubt Boss Hogg was coming out.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, that's what Pla would do too.
That was my point about the fight with Sam Liera.
Yeah, point well made.
But that's why sometimes you got to protect the fighter from himself.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Fighter safety priority number 1.
And Brandon would be angry at his corner if they stopped it, but he would understand.
Yeah.
That's why you don't even put the corner in the way. You let the doctor or the ref stop it.
Yep. But now the assignment for Leo Pla is to hurt him more. That is now your job.
Yeah, because you got 2 rounds to go, so you can't just chalk those up to just lose them.
And he can't become passive in his attack and let Brandon let his hands go. Only takes one.
Yeah, and with the way Brandon sort of finishes his phrases with those sort of tight right hook, those ones can hurt you. You land one clean one, and all of a sudden, Brandon's the winner, and we were talking crazy that anybody should stop this fight, you know? And we sound insane at the end of it, but that is always a possibility, and that's why the fighter wants to stay in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Johnson's in the fight right now. He's still trying. He's actually been a bit more active this round than has Pla.
When the eye is closed that much, it really affects depth perception. So now you're actually in sort of more danger than you were 9 minutes ago.
Midway point of round 4. Pla has never gone the distance in his professional bare knuckle career.
Ooh. He's just looking for one now. Pla's being defensively sound, which is super smart, and then just looking to land one when it's there.
You can see the hesitation from Leo in letting go.
Yeah, but you know, the problem with that is it can cost you rounds.
Exactly.
You're only
And
at
it could
about
cost you getting knocked out.
Yeah, and if one judge saw one round for the other guy and then you lose two.
Yeah, you end up losing the fight.
But sometimes you'll hear somebody say, oh, I don't want to hurt him anymore, and they're just trying to get the fight stopped so they win.
Yeah.
With Pla, you actually genuinely can feel that in this fight.
He's got so many. He's got so many fights under his belt. He doesn't care if the fight continues or not. It's not even for himself.
Yeah.
It's just literally he doesn't want to hurt Johnson.
But he also, I'm sure, and like Paulie, your point, he would do the exact same thing, so he understands what Johnson's doing here. It's that will, that desire to win.
Yeah, good check hook by Pla as Johnson tried to come in there.
We will head to the 5th and final round.
Nice jab there by Pla. That's closer round.
Saturday, November 19th, BYB Extreme brings the Trigon back to Tampa. Tampa is home to a trifecta of title fights. Patty Juarez and Monica Medina fight once again for the BYB Women's Lightweight Championship. Desmond the Predator Green battles Britain Scott McHugh. And Tony Lopez looks to defend his heavyweight belt for the first time, all live on Valley Sports and Stadium.
That is a man who has been through 4 rounds of a bare knuckle battle.
Pla still completing to the referee to tell him to stop it. He's complaining.
Yeah, and from our vantage, we see Pla looking up at the screen and pointing, going, look, man, look how he looks.
I can't see, yeah.
Yeah. So now they're sending Pla to the neutral corner to have the doctor take a look, I believe.
Yeah, it's not like Johnson was that active in the last round. It's just that Pla was neither.
Yeah.
So the round was closer because there was just no action. Pla's almost having mercy upon Johnson, and Johnson is not exactly pushing it completely himself.
They might stop it here because they've covered the right eye, and the left eye, they're asking how many fingers he has from the peripheral, and he won't know. He could guess. You got 1 in 5 shot.
Let's see. He might have guessed right.
Yeah, he might have guessed right.
What do you think, Doc? Stop it?
Yeah, he's going to
Yeah, I believe he's going to stop it. Yeah.
They're going to stop the fight.
And honestly, man, you got to protect the fighter from himself. Johnson's not going to quit. Pla wouldn't quit in the same situation. That's why we have doctors. You know, we don't always agree with them. I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't always agree with the doctor stoppage, but sometimes it's necessary. You need the doctor to have his say, and it's important that the doctor has the final say, even if though at times we disagree with it, because the doctors are the medical professionals in this. And in this particular case, I agree with the doctor.
It's such a human sport. Like there's so much humanity in fighting, and you saw that was so interesting to see Pla looking at it, going like, "Look, I won this fight. Please stop it."
And that's also a real veteran.
Yes,
you know,
right.
like if that's a 24-year-old guy who's got that fire, that testosterone in him, you know, that youthful energy, he's going to look to completely eliminate his opponent. But Pla, a veteran of the game, this guy fights every week.
Yeah,
you know, so,
yeah, he does.
So for him, you know, if he can go without hurting the guy extra, he'd rather have that.
Yeah, and he got his wish.
Yep.
He said he has a 60-year-old client, a retired doctor who redlines it every workout. And I had mentioned Leo's a certified personal trainer, and he's a very good human being, as is his opponent. And Leo has come to London and earned the victory. Big Mo set to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Bobby Wambacher calls a stop to this contest at the beginning of the 5th round, declaring your winner via a doctor stoppage, Leo Iron Lion.